peace. Brother
Peace.
Kevin.
Yes, sir. This is really interesting to me, this whole conversation, because we all of us have had these conversations individually for decades. And I never thought I would say this, but I think Brother Joe probably has it right. At one of the, I just never thought I would say this, but I think it is time for us to separate. But I want to put a twist on there. I think it's time for us to separate from some of our people that don't want to embrace what our new world looks like with moral principles and values. I'm not interested any longer of trying to go out into my community and introduce people that have a brain virus because it's too exhausting. I'm interested in training and developing the future. So when they get to a certain point, they'll be able to see what they need to do for us to survive as a group of people. I'm not interested in grievance anymore. I'm not interested in any of that because we are so uniquely smart in this world. Black men, we are highly intelligent. We should be able to do better and know to do better because we've seen what our conditions have been. So I'm no longer interested in that anymore. What I'm interested in, one thing and one thing only. How do we up-level our ability to have prosperity, our ability to understand what real business and economics is, and how do we execute that by using our political power, right? That's it. What is our political power? Well, some people would say it's our vote. I think it's the unification of Black consciousness, which is our power. And if you're Black and conscious, you understand that these systems were created not to assist us, but to destroy us. So I don't want to spend another decade talking about those systems. I want to talk about creating a new science for us, a new institutional science for us. Because the roadmap has been laid out there for us for the last several decades. And, you could talk about slavery. You could talk about pre and pro-slavery. You could talk about the Black codes. You could talk about Jim Crow. You could talk about it all. You could talk about how this system has systematically put all kinds of obstacles in front of us. But I always start with the Democratic Party because this is where we gave our power to. Black people believe they are more democratic than they are Black. They are loyal to the party that is anti-Black, anti-female, anti-male, anti-democracy, right? I mean, I am fascinated by when I hear people tell me, Kevin, you're voting for Donald Trump. I bust out laughing. I said, why are you so goddamn charged up about it? Your kids can't read and write. Your sons have no opportunity. Your daughters are out here looking like something I've never seen before. Your streets are filthy. Your local government is inactive. Your Black leadership is dysfunctional, and they work every day. They're the best employers of the corporation of white supremacy. But you are here telling me about that. So I'm breaking away from that thinking now. I'm only going to work with people that are talking about designing a new pathway, right? And the only way we can do that is if we unify consciously, right? And what does that mean consciously? Us first, not slogans, Blacks first. What the hell does that mean? I get it. Foundational Black, I get it. So now that we understand those are the mechanisms that we want to use to change and shift our consciousness, I don't want to debate that another goddamn 40 years. Because the roadmap has been laid out there for us already. So I'm trying to figure out through this whole thing that we're doing with us as men, because I think we're seeding ourselves the right way to get there now. Every time I hear you guys talk, I just freaking smile because, it's like, okay, we're on the right path. But our people have to break their chains. They really have to break those chains and become more conscious. But I got to tell you, I don't have a lot of faith in them anymore. You got to hear some of these conversations I'm hearing, guys. I mean, it is fascinating. I had somebody challenge me yesterday, not in a negative way. Well, Kevin, what do you think? How do you think the Republican Party can help us? I was like, why are you looking for them to help you? Help yourself. Like, that's just a party. That's a business. Politics is a business. It's a pure business. Calculations, calibrations. It ain't here to make you feel good. It's here to enrich them. It's not here to help you. You help yourself by leveraging up your power to build the influence that you need. So I'm a little I'm pushing back on that now. And I'm like, okay, I got that. I done read everything. I've analyzed everything. I've looked at everything. I've talked to people. We have to build a new institutional science for us. And whatever that looks like, we got to stand firm on that. But if you can't do that without being morally correct, spiritually correct, we can't do it. I think Brother Joe has a very good point. I think it's time to separate. I think it's time to say, y'all stay over there. You stay over there. You can't come over here. And when you do come over here, you got to pass the test. Are you taking care of your children? Are you cleaning up your streets in your community? What are you doing to correct the negative factors that we're living under right now? So I'm pushing back now. You come with that shit, I'm out the door. I'm like, I got to go. Because your sons and my daughters, right? They need us to build a better world for them. I got my grandchild coming up here to see me from California this week. That's all I think about. How my two grandsons and my granddaughter, what kind of life I'm going to leave for them. You know what kind of world they leave, what they want for us now? The guy that's the CEO of Telegram. Let me tell you about white sacrifice, guys. The guy from Telegram says, I'm not censoring the people on my platform. And he went to Paris and they locked him up. So if they locked his ass up, what you think they're going to do to us? What you think they're going to do to us? They serious. Now that is the corporation of white supremacy, not that white guy in the corner, not that white girl on the farm, not that white. No, the corporation of white supremacy is just what you saw. They locked him up. So we got a real serious problem here. I don't think people understand what the big play is. I think people looking at this winning and losing. Oh no, this is about fucking humanity. This is bigger than that. It's much bigger than you think. You could go, they're going to trap you in your cities and they're going to starve you because you have no opportunity to do anything else because you're buying into their con job every day. Did you see that convention, what those people were saying on that stage? Did you see what Barack Obama said on that stage? Did you see what Michelle Obama said on that stage? They're the enemy of the black family. They're the enemy of the black community. They were selling us garbage as hope. They were selling us fear. They were saying, you know, black people can't move forward, but they live in $4 million houses. Come on,
and made sure when the migrants came up to Martha's Vineyard, they got them out of there quickly.
Guys, I think that our voices I got to tell you, I think our voices are probably some of the most important voices of this time because we're not out. See, here's the thing. I see the brothers on Facebook and Twitter. They doing all of that stuff and they got that and they can tell you all of these things, but that ain't going to save us. If you don't change these policies, if you don't redirect your politics, if you don't stay single focus on what the new emerging economies look like, we're done.
Done.
They're going to give us money for programs. They'll do that. They're going to give us money for programs, but they're not going to give you money for procurement. See, when you talk about procurement, that's completely different. They understand it. Every other community understands procurement. We don't want your money from our program. We want to procure something and get access to real capital so we can fund our own stuff. Procurement. They don't want, when you come to that meeting and start talking about procurement, oh, that meeting is over. Programs, oh man, we'll give you $1 million. And then when that next party leaves out, you don't have that money anymore. But procurement is something completely different. And if you want to use our cities as emerging markets, right, where we build business, where we build a thriving marketplace, that works for us. They don't want to hit, when you go to meet with them, Brother Joe, when you start talking like that, your ass ain't getting down on that elevator. Brother Joe, you start talking like that if we look at our cities as emerging market and do a comparable analysis of what they did to Latin America and how they built that economy, and you say we want to turn our cities into emerging markets, and we don't want money going to our state governments, our local governments. We want to establish our markets here ourselves. You will not make it down on that elevator.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you, like I said, Kevin, like I said, when I've covered that